This is September 28th, 2025. It feels like it's never going to end. The onslaught, it just gets a little better here and there. But with everything coming out that it's my ex husband's girlfriend's dad and his friends running a drug scam on me, having the cartel. Then I told you how to put the pieces together and that he actually owes the drug cartel money. And that's where I told you I think they picked Dave out specifically. I really do. I think they picked him out um, to do a scam. Because you got to think, Dave's 60. Michelle barely 18 of that. Why would you want your 18-year-old beautiful daughter to date a 60-year-old man willing to kill his wife? You wouldn't. Okay? And it's not normal to hurt the wife. Not at all. See what I mean? But Dave had this nickname at Midwest Rubber. They called him Rocky. And he was coming home and he's laughing. Oh, they all call me Rocky at work. I said, Rocky. I asked Pete, I said, why do they call him Rocky at work? He said, because he's dumb as a box of rocks. He doesn't have any common sense. I said, what do you mean? He said he doesn't have enough common sense not to get involved in stuff that'll get him in trouble. He'll go along with the fun, the attention, and he'll do stupid stuff to get in trouble. He doesn't have enough common sense to walk away. So they call him Rocky, dumb as a box of rocks, no common sense. Well, you gotta think. Dave's going to be going through a divorce, okay? John and Melissa are divorcing, same time, okay? My son John is 26 years younger, 40s, late 30s, early 40s, okay, late 30s. Highly successful, very educated, makes more money. Why wouldn't you want him? For one thing, he'd never hurt Melissa, ever. But Dave would, for the attention. I think they needed a sap and sucker that would go along and help them run a scam and wouldn't even care if they hurt someone. We found him in Dave. Got him into helping out with us. And I think they sought him out. Because January 13th, 23, I met my friend Matt out in Worcester. He said, you told me what happened to you. He said, I race horses professionally. On the racetrack, there's drug dealers. He said, I went to one. Okay? I asked him if they knew what was going on. This is 2.5 hours away. He said that all the Ohio drug dealers know you didn't know that agent of your case is in debt to the drug dealers. And that's why all this happened. And he owes them money. And that's why all this is happening. And he said, and they're putting threats on him. He's telling me the threats. I'm like, whoa, I don't believe in violence. If he actually did it because he owes drug dealers money, he needs to go to jail. But I don't believe in violence. He said, it's not me, it's them. I'm just saying what they said. And then I said it again, how I don't believe in violence. But if he actually did it, he needs to go to jail. He said, it's not me. No, I was just telling you what they said. The next week, he showed up at the U.S. Marshals. A friend on the police department knew about the case that agent opened with me. Okay. All right. So then if you take December 18th, 24, on Walmart 62, they still have the tapes. A guy walks in with another guy. Karen didn't know who Michelle was till January, February 19. No, I made sure of it. Well, those people said she threatened her, and if she threatened her, I didn't care what they did to her. And she didn't even know who she was. He said, no, I made sure of it. He said, I told that drug dealer that no one would want her after everything had done to her. That nobody would ever want her again. I told him, leave her alone. Karen's getting remarried. I knew she had it in her. Okay. January 5th, 25. Walmart 62. They'd still have the tapes. Investigators come in. What is this? Another FBI agent lied to a U.S. Marshal she was weird with herself? We always knew it was photoshopped of washing herself in the shower. And they photoshopped that. And they had drugged her and told her to say it before. We always knew that. And we have the agent over her case taped that he let all this happen because he thought she threatened his daughter. And to find out she didn't even know who she was. Was FBI getting even with her because they thought she threatened one of their daughters? And to find out she didn't even know who she was? Do they realize how not funny this is? What do you call him? The agent of my case. January 30th, 25, I'm down in Carrollton. I'm in Virginia's restaurant. Some idiots say something. Stupid, so I say something back. Okay? And then I start going on how Terry Carberly seen him almost kidnapped me. And how it was a medication or medical malpractice almost killed me. This guy looked at me and went, well, later that day, Walmart 62, he shows up with the guy from December 18th, 24. This is January 30th, 25. He said, I already told those people that I didn't think any of this is funny when I found out she didn't even know who Michelle was. He said, I found out Terry Cobley seen him almost kidnap her before. I really feel bad. I also found out it was a medication error and medical malpractice that made her sick before. I really feel bad. I told her ex-husband when he called down to my office to tell him I wasn't there anymore because I wasn't going to deal with him. That the police said she had rights, or Josh had told me, where I told him I was dating a retired Massillon police officer. I said, Massillon police. He said, there was a guy in Massillon helping him get away with crimes. Well, they talked about him January 25th, 2019, 2018, 2019, 2020, the guy in Massillon helping him get away with crimes. He said, Dad called down, found out he wasn't there anymore. He said he freaked out and fled the country forever. So that's a guy from Massillon. But who did they say it was? Michelle's father. Get it? Get an idea? Yesterday in Summit Mall, people were laughing at me. That's that one, her ex-husband's girlfriend. Her father and his friends ran a drug scam on. Well, him and his friends are the ones framing the Portage County sheriffs, Judge Ludick, impersonating the FBI. See, that's where September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse, they were in there badmouthing me, trying to get Agent John's case started. Okay. September 18th, 25, Walmart West Tusk investigators. It was that office that's doing this. They were in that courthouse on the 10th. Badmouthing her and lying on her. Right? And it's not funny. They're telling people they're the Portage County Sheriffs. Well, September 20th, 25. walking around Summit Mall. Some girls were talking where she had a panic attack when she heard that guy's voice. They said it was the guy that tortured her. They said he's still around her. He's one of the ones that keep an eye on her. It's not funny. He works for that office and he tells people he's FBI. Well, that explained why Michelle was around him at Faith Family Church in front of 3,000 people, and the ones that were impersonating the Portage County Sheriffs. And they're the ones that also, the deranged little Santa Claus that said he was retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludick, letting him get away with crime. Leave Ludick alone. Leave the Christian judge alone. Along with the people from Florida. Said they worked for Judge Peters. That did get arrested in 22 of this. 100 men. Today I went to go through a drive-thru, Belvin. There was a guy, white with black hair and a long black beard. He said, I listened to Karen. He said, I think it's funny how that agent told on her and the way he talked to her. And with her had been, being drugged up and been raped. And she's trying to tell him what's going on. He's laughing and yelling at her. And she calls him mean and scary. He wants to know what mean and scary is. I can talk to him. And these people are not to be insulting her clothes and insulting her when they go out with her. When they follow her around. And he was mad. I didn't say a word. I went to Myers and Elias. People walk in. We all heard that guy. She didn't say anything. Is she not saying anything? Make sure it's not a scam. Then other people were in there talking too. It's not funny, that agent that opened her case could end up going to jail for defrauding her if he doesn't fix this. Okay? And then there was another couple in there talking. Where on September 10th, 25, it was a fiasco. That judge was so crooked. We try to get restraining orders against my new husband's stepchildren, his second wife's kids, that took 50, 60 grand in checks and probably that much in cash, if not more. His one stepson's beat on it before. And he's scared of them. And they just want his farm. They have threatened both our lives. They've threatened to kidnap, bash our skulls in, throw him in a nursing home, haven't found incompetent. They didn't know what they're going to do to me, and I don't want to float in the river. They even got his son involved, thinking they're entitled to his money and his land before he dies. They're not entitled to nothing. See, this sickness of entitlement, that you have the right to steal, the right to hurt, the right to do all these things. No, you don't. Makes you a psychopath. Okay? Well, after that judge let him get away with the circus show in there, and their dad is very much alive. Just left their mom 6 months before she met Carl, and then was still in the picture until a few years ago. So this little orphan Annie bit is just a con. And we were over at Leah's, and Leah said, did I ever meet him? He said, yeah, when I lived upstairs, he stopped in and said something to Brenda before he went over and seen the kids. Yeah. He said a couple years ago at a party, they were talking about going to see him. He wasn't doing that well. Still alive. They were still seeing their father. Deb was 26, grown, married, with a child. Mr. Blue raised her. The other two knew their father, raised them till they were teenagers. And then he was still in town in the local area and still had contact with his kids. But their thing is, we're little orphan nannies. And Carl's on, my daddy, my daddy, my daddy, my daddy, give me money. It's a con. It's like, would you just go find some other senior citizen to call mommy and daddy, beat on, and then rob all their money? Because that's what they've done to Carl. Well, we go to leave that courtroom. That judge still had a robe on. September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse. Said that office was down here. Said she's nothing but the biggest liar. Nothing she said is credible. And that office spent thousands of dollars having people follow her around. Why would they do that? The government was paying millions. They said they didn't see anything. You'd have to be Helen Keller. Blind, deaf, and dumb. Everybody's seen them. 3,000 people at Faith Family Church. Dixie even seen them in Maslin. I can go through a list of people. But they didn't see anybody. Okay. We're all supposed to get even with her. Go walk by a door, some weirdos in there. Had the right to do those things to her. Had the right to know what I was up against. The guy that's afraid of old fat women in skirts. And then there was a guy in the prosecutor's office. I want her to have nothing when I get done. Nothing. Psychos. Okay. We're in 2018. If you tell one word on what we're saying, one word, we'll call you a liar. We'll say everything you say it's not credible. We'll ruin your reputation until you can't testify against us in court and everything get thrown out. Okay? There was a couple in there in Myers in Alliance said, do you realize how dumb that judge was? Saying one word bad about her. Well, they do it. Well, they can say whatever they want. It don't count. No one in law enforcement can ever insult her. It can compromise, it can cause the case. See, that's what they want. That's what they want. And said that other officer, he better be part of the people that are playing these people. Because if he's really insulting her, and they find out, they can end all in them jail. Because it can cost the case. See, in January of 19, they were talking about loopholes. Legal loopholes. Okay? Said that agent told on her before he talked to her. That's a big legal loophole. Okay? Then they said he didn't pay her. He didn't pay her. He defrauded her. He doesn't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It takes the judge. He was only bullying her, and so he defrauded her. See, that's where they've been calling him a coward. August 5th, 25, as if Agent John didn't know they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before. That's why she has no memory of anything. Of what those people did. That's why she had a mental taste in her mouth. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, being raped before the case started. As if he didn't know they used hypnotic drugs and drugged her and told her to say it before. He even let him torture her. Is he some kind of coward? And then August 7th, 25, Walmart, 62 investigators have those tapes. They even said it on August 4th, 25. They used hypnotic drugs that cause sleepwalking. When they drugged me and told me to say it before, and that I would have no memory of what those people did, and that's what caused the mental taste. I never seen anybody. Never had anybody in my home. I want you to think about that. I take a bath, or shower, dry off, get in bed, wake up with orange, lemon, grapefruit, sized bruises, throwing up, heart racing, severely infected, thought the wild water was giving me cancer. It was orange. Had a test that had high levels of different iron in it. I thought it was so toxic it was actually killing me. I would be outside working. And I come in and I'd wash my hands. I had a 2-liter Diet Coke. Pour a glass of Diet Coke. Make a sandwich. Go and use the bathroom. Wash my hands better. Come out, take a drink. And then when we go to Sam Black. Hours later, it's like, what on earth? The room's spinning. Bruises, throwing up, heart racing, affecting, just getting in contact with that water. I thought it was giving me cancer. I never even had my neighbors in my home. I had family repair guys, installation guys, and 2 silly officers, August 8 of 18, midnight, light in the security system. They came out and they said it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want bothered. Like a lady said, do you realize what we look like to her yelling stuff at her? And she has no memory. You could all be playing me for all I care. Think about that. You look insane. You look insane. You're making fun of a drugged up rape victim somebody ran a con on. That they roofied and told to say stuff and photoshopped my head on somebody else's body. Washing, July 24th, 25. They did body ratio, wasn't even me showering where they already confessed years ago. It was a shower scene in the other room, showering and washing herself. They actually put my head on somebody else's body washing themselves. Where they said they photoshopped everything they did. Alright, but that couple, yeah. Well, after they called Agent John a coward, why are they calling him a coward? They want him discredited too, that he only opened the case to defraud her. And he had no legal right around her, and that way all the police surveillance gets thrown out, where they had it planned in 18. They even said years ago they were setting him up to be arrested. That's what was so funny. I didn't know what was going on. Okay, so we're going to go forward. There were some guys in there. Also in Myers. I don't know why you show up and act stupid. Well, she better not be helping them with that legal loophole. He said they're the ones that said it in 19. Oh, they bragged in 18 if I said anything. This was their plan. They had a backup plan. That if you say one word what we're doing, da-da-da-da-da, call you a liar, tell you, everybody you're not credible, you can't testify against us, we'll ruin your reputation, so everything gets thrown out. They were coming up with reasons to get it thrown out. And then he didn't pay me. And see, that's all he has to do is stand up for me. Where on September 20th, 25 outside Summit Mall, some ladies were talking. The police said Karen never lied to him once. She called the FBI hotline with threats and attempts on her life. And these people walked into an FBI office and confessed. They were trying to kill her. Everything else she said happened, and they caught it under police surveillance. So were those idiot men? Well, she better not be part of trying to get the case thrown out. No, it's not me, and don't even bring me into it, idiot. It's that office trying to get it thrown out. Michelle's dad owes the drug cartel money. That's why he pulled this con here. That guy Will, to pull off a scam to join us. That's all ruined because Michelle told on him. That doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. Okay. April 24th, 25. It's a scam where Matt said that drug dealer 2.5 hours away said that he owed the drug dealer money. And somebody owed money. August 30th, 25, I was in Fred Martin. Some guys on the phone said, do you want to pull over and meet her? You don't want her to know who actually did this to her. Did you get enough money to pay her back? And then December 2nd, 22, they talk about him stealing the money the first day. Then April to July of 19, that this Michelle and Lauren showed up. They're part of the Florida drug cartel, heavyset blonde girls, that he was stealing for them. October 4th, 23, announced it in Maslin that Will was stealing for them. October 6th, 23, Walmart 62. First thing in the morning by the grocery aisle, they said it's the one guy from the case. That girl that's he's stealing for them is his girlfriend. Up in Akron in June or July of 23, they were telling my client's neighbors that he was stealing for them, and they told him they didn't want him up there anymore. It's my ex-husband's girlfriend's father, the guy from Maslin. That Will, it's him and his friends. He owes the drug cartel money. He's telling people he's agent over my case. He isn't. Agent John is. Okay. He had to pull off a con here. That's why he's going after the informant money. Agent John just has to pay me and just say my informant is very credible. I have everything under legal police surveillance, and those drug dealers will stay in jail. Where they're saying we want every drug dealer and everybody in the cartel that was caught under surveillance and was arrested from it, they had no right around her, and we want them all released. He's trying to get the cartel released. All you have to do is stand up for me and pay me. You don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. I only hire a police officer, prosecutor's office, criminal attorney in place. Plus, you've already told on me to hundreds at Apostolic Church of Barberton, and on a recorded line admitted you had the church people, the Vegas, in your office. You made fun of me for some guy named Pete running a scam on me. I still don't know who he is. And something about a dirty doctor scam, and that's where it's not one of mine. It works for them, and they had lied. He was one of my doctors. She actually doesn't know who he is. I thought where some other lady was using my insurance, I thought maybe it was one of her doctors. No, it's just a scam. And you made fun of me for all that, made me beg for my life. You confess you knew all that, and even that they were trying to kill me because Strange lied on me 15 years ago. And you didn't arrest him. And you confessed they already knew the FBI was involved, so why would you stay quiet? Exactly, like everybody said, he was only bullying you. You cannot withhold your money, cannot misdirect it. It's illegal. That's where they're trying to get him arrested. Where they break years ago, they were trying to get him arrested. They're actually after Agent John. They have tried to frame Bruce Lewinsky, Judge Ludick, and Ravenna, Portage County Sheriffs. And they have been trying to get Agent John arrested off this. And then where they said they're going to extort all kinds of money out of the government, they're going to sue the government. Michelle's family is not funny. I'm going to upload this.